Welcome to the Idaho Business Podcast, the only Idaho podcast focused on providing profits for Idaho people. If you love our state and love small business, you are in the right place. We interview local legends, learn business, and have way too much fun doing it. You're listening to the Idaho Business Podcast with your friend, host, and all-around great guy and owner of New Clean Commercial Cleaning, Spencer Ward.
Here we go. All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Idaho Business Podcast. We are here with Eric Deegear. Am I saying that right?
Yep, it's Deegear.
Okay, Deegear. He is in Boise. He is in the big city over there. You're actually our first guest for Boise, so congratulations. And I'm honored to get some Boise people over here as well. So Eric was, a Texas native, moved over to Boise to get his, and we like Texas people over in Idaho, so no biggie there. So he moved over to Boise to further his education at Boise State University, and he owns Massage by Eric. Is that right?
Massage Eric.
So Massage, yeah. Eric, okay.
Yep.
He's a success mentor, a business and strategy coach, and a product creation specialist. So this guy is a man of many talents, and he's over there in Boise just doing a phenomenal job at it. So welcome, Eric.
Thank you. Happy to be
Perfect. Here. Yeah, loved it. Love it. So before we get going, I have to say that we are sponsored by Sensations Spa. They're located, have offices in Pocatello and in Twin Falls. These guys do a phenomenal job. They also do massages, but we've got Eric here, so we can't go heavily on that right now. But they do your manicures, they do your pedicures, they get your spray tans, your tanning beds, anything you need. They do a phenomenal job over there. And stay tuned, because we're going to be having some great deals as you go into their locations and talk about and just mention that you heard about them on the podcast. So, Eric, back to you. Maybe tell us something, maybe a little known factor, interesting about yourself to get this thing rolling.
So just right off the bat, I have 9 brothers and sisters. So there's
Wow.
10 of us in all. We used to be spread out kind of all over the world, one in China, one was in the military. So he went and did his service. We had, some back in San Antonio, Texas, which is where I'm from. And of course, now I'm up in Boise, Idaho, and my mom's up here now too. So we've
Very
got
cool.
kind of a nice spread, but more of us are coming up here. So
I like it. Well, perfect. So Eric, so you went into college, you went into psychology, you graduated with a degree there. How does a psychologist find his way into massage therapy and owning his own business?
Great question. It was actually in reverse. So I
Okay.
started massage when I was 19. So I hopped out of high school and I was like, I want something to do besides flip burgers, in college. Like I knew I wanted to go to college, but I wanted to have a nice side gig. And massage seemed awesome because once I learned it, I would have that for the rest of my life. So I started with acting. I was in theater. And so I got my associates in that down in Texas. And then when I transferred up here, I'd been doing massage for a while. I thought I was going to quit soon. So I was like, you know what, let me get into something that I'm super interested in, which is the mind. I've always been really interested in mindset and psychology and just kind of the power of the human brain. And my thought was, instead of going into business, which was my alternative, is that, business practices change all the time. While human psychology has been around, since forever. So so it was kind of an obvious choice for me to study it. It's not something that I see myself becoming a psychologist or psychiatrist or something like that, but it definitely has been really helpful in my pursuit of the business coaching.
I like that. Now, do you come from a family of business owners or entrepreneurs?
Yeah, I would say so. My granddad started a printing business in St. Louis, which my uncles still run. and I have uncles who are kind of entrepreneurs, starting different restaurants or bars in St. Louis. I've got on my dad's side, I've got an uncle who's a lawyer, and my dad himself, he was a doctor, and then he went into more the forensic side of things. So like
Wow.
Forensic accident reconstruction with power tools, which was pretty
Wow.
interesting. So kind of like
That is interesting.
CSI, like putting together a crime scene, but with like power tool accidents.
That's insane. That's crazy. So
So
glad we have people to do that.
yeah, but he ran his own business. He started working for someone else and then switched to working for himself. So I kind of had from the get-go, I was in his office helping him with his with his business, either printing papers or whatever they did before the internet.
It's awesome. Very cool. So now you've opened up your business now, and you've been in business since 2010, correct?
Correct. Well, I've been a massage therapist since 2010. The business that I have here, the massage business, has been since 2013. And the coaching business, I actually started during, kind of got serious about it during quarantine. I was doing it before, but I didn't really hone down until we had lockdown.
I like that. Just finding opportunities, because, obviously during lockdown, people really can't get massages. So you got to get creative. And that's a sign of an entrepreneur, guys, right there, is someone who can find a bad opportunity and find, okay, you know what? I'm not going to give up. What's another thing that I can continue to support myself with? And I like that. That's the creativity behind it all. So that's perfect, Eric. So what's your favorite part about business, either the coaching or the massage? What's your favorite parts?
There's two favorite parts. One I've really dug into deep this year, which would be kind of figuring out the systems approach to a business and setting it up, because I've hired two guys recently, and like I said, pursuing into the externship. So managing other people requires a lot of systems approach. I've got to take what I do best, copy it, figure out how to teach it to someone else, and have them run it instead. So that's a big part of business that I really enjoy, and figuring out that how to extract myself from being so in the business. Instead of working in the business, I want to be working on the business, is kind of the overall theme. The second part that I really love about business is actually the relationships, things like this, like how we connected, to set this whole thing up, or where, relationships can go from there. Because relationships in business are so integrated, and knowing people, I think, is knowing and connecting with people is one of the most powerful tools that you can have for a business.
I like that. Excuse me, voice went out. I like that a lot. And what I'm hearing is that, and it's something that's key, because you're catching now, and a lot of business, I won't say most, but a lot of business owners don't understand that the part of processes you go through, you run into an obstacle, and you can see that this is an obstacle that you're going to run into on a frequent basis. So what do? Instead of you having to attack that obstacle yourself every single time, you say, okay, if this happens, then do this. If this happens, then do that. And then you make it into a written process and strategy that anyone can follow. I like that a lot. And that's something we hit on a lot within the podcast and within my business. And I've always said, because people will fight back at you, Eric, all the time. Well, my business is not like that. I can't do a process. It's got to be me. And I said, I'll say to these people, because I've smart man's told me, my coach and mentor, if they figured out for how many years now, probably decades, to take a human heart out of someone's body and put it into someone else's body and pass that education and know-how down, don't you think you can pass on how to schedule your employees or how to manage, different aspects of your business to other people? I think so. Yep. So don't think, so you're on the right track, Eric. I love hearing this kind of stuff. Thanks. Perfect.
And I would even invite those people to take a deeper look and see if it isn't ego and fear that's playing into that. Because a lot
That
of
has a
times it's
lot
like,
to do with
I'm
it.
so important, I can't be taken out of my business. Or maybe they're afraid of becoming obsolete. Which if I become
Mhm.
obsolete in my business, that's great.
Yeah,
Like if I
I was gonna
become
say that's
like I
perfect for
can go on
me.
vacation. Yeah, I can go on vacation and my business will keep on running, a little money machine. That
Yep.
is the ideal, actually. And if I can get past the fear of my self-worth and not being uh not my identity tied to my business, because that's what a lot of people do. It's like, I'm a plumber, this is what I do, and so I can't pass off that to anybody else because
Yep.
that's who I am. um
It,
so
it's the
there's
same.
a
It's the.
lot of
Go ahead.
I was gonna say there's a lot of deep psychology kind of stuff in
For
this, like
sure.
that you can look into as far as like
For sure.
where these fears are coming from.
And let's talk about that here in a moment for sure. But it's this. It's I feel like it's the same people, and I can say that I can discriminate against those people because I was one of those people. It's the same
Mm.
type of people that have their every single notification turned on their phones and computers, anything related to their business. Oh, I got a new email. Oh, freak! I gotta check this right now. Even though they're in the middle of something creative, they're in something that they're making higher dollar an hour work they're doing. But as soon as they get that notification, their mind just goes pop, and all of that goes out the window, and they have to focus directly on something. And maybe it's something bad, maybe it's something good, but it takes your attention away from the things that you need to be doing. So it's
Mm.
the same people that don't put processes into place are those type of people that you need to turn off those notifications, people. So
Yeah.
it
Well,
changes your life.
and that's one of the big problems with entrepreneurship. Well, it's not a problem in some respects, but for solopreneurs especially, we wear a lot of hats.
For
I'm the
sure.
marketer right now. I'm the accountant right now. I'm the bookkeeper. I'm working in the business. I'm doing massage right now. Oh, I'm
Hmm.
managing. I'm the manager. And that switching back and forth between hats is necessary as a solopreneur when you're starting out. But as soon as you can, delegate and start looking at the task. I would encourage everybody who's listening to this, uh, start looking at the tasks that you really hate doing, that you're not good at, that somebody else could do, and you can focus on what you're good at. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You like for my massage business, one of the first things I did was outsource the laundry. Honestly, I don't like doing laundry. Like that's a huge part of being a massage therapist.
I love it.
It's two sheets, a pillowcase, two towels. You got a blanket. Every client. You can imagine by the end of the day
That's a
how that
lot.
adds up. And so I know not everyone out there listening to this is a massage therapist, but think of your laundry task. Who can you have? And I started trading. I didn't even pay. Like I was so broke starting up the business that I traded for massages for laundry. So not only did I get a new client, but I also got someone to do my laundry. And it was
Awesome.
magic. I would just show up and the laundry was folded and clean and at my work. And I would just put the dirty laundry there and the next day it would be gone.
It's
You
phenomenal.
yeah, you can't beat these things. And so I
Yeah.
encourage everybody, look into your business. And if you have a hard time finding it, like that's why business coaches are so important, is because it's another pair of eyes looking at the issue and having been there before. I
Yep.
like the mountains picture in your background.
Yeah. This
And
is Idaho, baby.
yeah, I've actually, I was down in Mexico at the start of this year. I went there for a month to write my book. I wrote a book called The Five Mountains, and it'll be published later this year. Um, but I like to think of life as focusing on the mountain. You've got your path to the mountain. And for as a business coach, my job is to lead you up the mountains that I've been up. So if I've been up a mountain building a successful business, you can go that path on your own. But wouldn't it be better to have a guide, somebody to show you where the snakes are at, or what path to avoid, or say, hey, there's a shortcut, right up through here through the trees. Um,
Hmm.
it's invaluable.
I'll tell you a short story real quick that I pay my consultant many dollars every year, and there's times when I first started out, I'm like, how is this the case that I'm paying him a lot of money and he's letting me have it? Like he's telling me, whoa, bro, like why haven't you completed this? Why haven't you done this kind of stuff? And it's key to have that in your life to help you understand some things, because they have been through things that you haven't been through. And I know one time in particular with my company, because I own a janitorial company called Nuclean that operates throughout Idaho. And there was a huge contract that I was going after. It was kind of more of a post-construction cleanup for a big federal job. And I was telling him, I'm like, hey, I've done these in the past. They're great money makers. I'm going to probably do it again. And he's just like, I don't know, man. I wouldn't do it if I were you. I'm like, nah. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to do it. Well, I ended up doing it, and I ended up losing my shorts on the deal. And now to this day, I use it as a learning aid, and he uses it as a learning aid at my expense. But at the same time, those are the situations where having a business coach comes in handy, because my heck, there was definitely some snakes that he could see that I could not see. And if only I would have listened, it would have saved me thousands and thousands of dollars. So
Yeah,
you're exactly right, Eric.
well, that's the hope as a business coach, is like that you save your client or help your client make more money than it's ever costing you.
Right.
And I would hope for each of my clients, like at least for most of them, I look at it and that's been the case. You know, they've doubled their business. I know with my business coach, when I first hired one, I doubled my business the first year and then doubled it again the next year.
Mm-hmm.
And then started looking for ways to change things up, because I was like, I'm hitting a ceiling massaging. So what's the next step? And I was already coaching a lot of different people in different businesses, just nothing formal. So that seemed the logical next step, was to be, to put myself at a higher tier almost.
Yep.
And that's what I think a lot of people have trouble doing, is continuing to learn. And I would say the number one skill that's kept me going through all this is staying curious and staying open-minded, and being like, I haven't learned everything, and I don't want to have ever learned everything, because then that means that there's nothing left to explore.
Exactly. That's exactly right. There's an individual up in Boise around you that and you'll know the name, but I literally feast upon the words that he becomes. I follow him for social media. I read his books. His name's Russell Brunson. He owns
Yep.
ClickFunnels, and that guy is brilliant. And he's I think ClickFunnels was evaluated with over $1 billion recently, and he's still just constantly learning himself and constantly he's huge on mindset. And I look at him and I envy him a lot. Love to be able to get him on the podcast one of these days. But he is definitely someone that is constantly curious and constantly learning. So
Okay. Yeah, cool. I know actually quite a few close friends of mine have worked at ClickBank or know him.
yeah,
If I can get you connected, I'll let you know.
that'd be great. He would be an awesome asset for the podcast and for Idaho people to listen to. So well, cool, man. Let's enter the lightning round here. Okay.
Okay.
The lightning round is sponsored by Lookout Credit Union. That's a local Idaho credit union from Burley branches all the way down to Idaho Falls. Not quite up to Boise yet, but they are a phenomenal credit union. And if you go into into one of the branches and you open up an account and you mention that you heard about them on the podcast, you're going to get a free swag bag full of just t-shirts and all the good stuff that you want. Just by going in and mentioning the podcast as you open up an account. Give these guys you're going to get that, and beyond that, some phenomenal service and some just great support from them. So Lookout Credit Union, give them a holler. So Eric, what's one of the best books or tools or software you've used in the recent past that's really kind of changed the way you're doing things?
Yeah. Um, I'm a voracious reader, so I read over 100 books a year.
Wow.
More if I can handle it. Really, audiobooks are the key. If you
Yep.
start getting up to speed on audiobooks, like 1.5 speed or 2 times the speed, you can really zoom through them if you're driving or working or cooking or something. One of the ones that I've been listening to over and over again recently is actually Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. I don't know if
Hmm.
have you heard of it?
I've heard of that one.
So Marcus Aurelius was the emperor of Rome, and this was back at I think it was I want to say like 100 AD, 200 AD, something like that. But this was his journal. It was literally his journal that he
Wow.
would just write stuff in. So he read about how hard it is to get out of bed in the morning, or about death, or about our place in the universe. It's like you're literally reading words that he never intended to be published. He was writing this
It's
just as
interesting.
the emperor of Rome, like of all things. Like
I'm
it's
gonna have
just
to look into that now.
crazy that yeah, his words passed through history are just full of so much wisdom. He was a stoic, which a lot of people take to mean like this emotionless, blank stone wall. But really,
Mhm.
stoicism is just about separating yourself from the emotions that are going through your body, and kind of examining them and realizing that you aren't your emotions as they're passing through. Like you're not the anger that comes on, you're not the mood that's passing, but you're almost like the observer watching them. And that gives great power, when you can realize that you're accepting responsibility for your emotions and as a part of you, but they are not you.
Very cool.
Um, there's so much wisdom in there. So I would encourage you to check it out if you can.
I will. I will for sure. Okay. What's the biggest myth business owners need to know the truth about?
Um, Biggest myth is that your I guess your employees are going to do as good of a job as you. I mean, everyone who has employees kind of knows that they're probably not going to do as good of a job, or at least like not up to what you would have done.
Sure.
But that's normal. They're not you. If they were you, then they would be owning your own business.
Yep.
So there's like a rule of thumb. They're only going to do at best like maybe a 75% as good of a job as you would do. So just know that going into it, and I guess know that uh, it's your responsibility to kind of boost those numbers with the clients.
For sure. For
I
sure.
mean, with the employees.
Yep. I like that. And that's for us, it's all about hiring employees that match our core values. That's a huge one that helps us a lot to boost those numbers. But yes, you're right. They'll never be up to the 100% mark where you would do things. So, but you can still have phenomenal people.
True. Yeah, a great team, you can't beat it.
Yep.
Having the right people on your team is invaluable. Leverages your skills.
Exactly. Okay. What's one question I should have asked that I did not?
Um, It's a good question. How am I liking Idaho?
Yeah. Yeah. How do you like Idaho, compared to Texas?
Actually, I love it. Like, I love all the
Yep.
weather here. It's fantastic. Like, I can go outside and not die when it's summer.
Yeah.
I went back on a road trip last summer to Texas, and I was like, oh yes, this is why I live in Idaho.
Hey, you
You
don't
know,
get the freezing cold up in Boise that you do in Pocatello and the Idaho Falls area for sure.
yeah, yeah. But I do love the four seasons. Like, I love being able
Yep.
to swap between the different ones. I love autumn
Yep.
now and spring. We didn't really get those down in Texas,
That's
especially
awesome.
with all the trees changing. And
Yeah.
I'll take for granted the mountains here, like just being in the distance, just chilling there. But it's nice to have them there, I think,
I
compared
love it.
to Texas, it's just flat.
Yep. Well, perfect, man. I appreciate you coming on the show. And if people are listening right now and thinking, man, I'm a little stiff, I either need a massage, or man, I'm struggling within my business and I need some extra help, how would they get a hold of you?
So there are two ways to get a hold of me. The best one for massage would be massageeric.com, and the massage and Eric share the E.
Okay.
So it's the last E of massage shares the E in Eric. And you can book online that way. So we have an online booking system for massage, so you can be at
Very
your
nice.
convenience. We do a deep tissue and Thai blend, which is on my own unique creation, kind of the blending of the two. So yeah, if you're hurting or if you want some relaxation, just come in for a massage. For the coaching, you can hit me up at degear.biz, and it's my last name, DEEGEAR.biz, and you'll find me there.
Very cool. Well, awesome, Eric. I appreciate you coming on the show with us, and maybe again we'll have you uh, sign up for another episode in the future. But to all those that are listening, give him a shout out. If you're definitely within the Boise market for massages, or if you're a business owner that needs some extra assistance, he'd be a good one to talk with. So as always, go out there today and for the rest of the week and just go and conquer it. Have those positive thoughts, stay away from the negative Nancy's, and conquer the week, guys. So Eric, again, thank you. And to the rest of you, we will see you next episode.
All right. Thanks, Spencer.
Yep, no problem. See you.
Congratulations on spending a couple of minutes getting a little bit smarter, having some fun, and supporting the Idaho business community. If you're feeling the love, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you are.